The Mary Celeste. Why did everyone vanish? On December 4th, 1872, sailors crossing the Atlantic spotted a ship moving strangely through the water. Its sails were damaged, its course was uncontrolled, and nobody appeared to be steering it. The crew of another ship, the Dei Gratia, moved closer and called out. There was no reply. When they boarded, they discovered something terrifying. The ship was completely empty. The captain was gone. His wife and young daughter were gone. Every crew member had vanished. Food remained on board. Personal belongings had been left behind. Most of the cargo was still there, but the ship's lifeboat was missing. The vessel was called the Mary Celeste, and the disappearance of the 10 people aboard remains one of the greatest mysteries in maritime history. The Mary Celeste had left New York on November 7th, 1872. Its destination was Genoa, Italy. The ship carried 1,701 barrels of industrial alcohol. It was commanded by Captain Benjamin Briggs, an experienced and respected sailor. Traveling with him were his wife, Sarah, their 2-year-old daughter, Sophia, and 7 crewmen. For nearly 2 weeks, the ship faced rough weather while crossing the Atlantic. Captain Briggs continued recording the journey in the ship's log. The final known entry was made on November 25th near the Azores. After that, the record stopped. 9 days later, the Dei Gratia discovered the Mary Celeste drifting hundreds of miles away. When sailors boarded the vessel, they found damaged sails and water inside the lower part of the ship. But the ship was not sinking. The cargo remained in place. The crew's clothes and belongings were still on board. There were no bodies and no clear signs of a violent struggle. However, several important items were missing. The ship's papers were gone. The captain's navigation instruments were gone, and the lifeboat had disappeared. This suggested that Captain Briggs and the others had left the ship deliberately. But why would an experienced captain take his family and crew into a small lifeboat in the middle of the Atlantic? The first theory was piracy. Perhaps pirates attacked the Mary Celeste and killed or captured everyone aboard. But valuable cargo and belongings were left untouched. There was no convincing evidence of robbery or violence. Another theory suggested mutiny. Maybe the crew turned against Captain Briggs, killed him and his family, and escaped. But Briggs had selected experienced sailors, and investigators found no proof of a rebellion. Some even suspected the crew of the Dei Gratia. They wondered whether those sailors had attacked the Mary Celeste and then claimed a salvage reward. The case was investigated in Gibraltar, but no reliable evidence supported this accusation. The most famous explanation involves the ship's alcohol cargo. 9 barrels were later found empty. Some researchers believe alcohol leaked into the cargo hold and released dangerous vapors. Captain Briggs may have feared that the ship was about to explode. He might have ordered everyone into the lifeboat temporarily. Perhaps the lifeboat remained connected to the Mary Celeste by a rope. If that rope broke, the larger ship could have sailed away, leaving the small boat behind. The people inside may then have been lost in the rough Atlantic. Another explanation focuses on the ship's pump. One pump was found partially disassembled. If the pump was blocked or damaged, Captain Briggs may not have known how much water had entered the ship. After days of storms, damaged sails, and uncertain navigation, he may have believed the vessel was sinking. When land appeared near the Azores, he may have decided to evacuate. It could have been a reasonable decision based on the information he had. But once the crew entered the lifeboat, strong wind and waves may have separated them from the ship. The Mary Celeste survived. The people did not. No confirmed remains were ever found. No message from Captain Briggs was discovered, and no survivor returned to explain what happened. The ship was eventually sailed to Gibraltar and later returned to service. But the fate of the 10 missing people remains unknown. Perhaps they feared an explosion. Perhaps they believed the ship was sinking. Or perhaps the real answer disappeared with the missing lifeboat. More than 150 years later, the Mary Celeste remains famous because almost everything was still there. The cargo, the food, the belongings. the ship itself. Everything except the people.